'Cause I ain't that type to let you go easy. So say goodbye to every other girl in the. Hey, everybody, this is Rapid Sports with Jax for the J to the A to the X to the X.com. Go over to the website and how you all doing today. Um, I'm going to talk about the New Jersey Devils today mostly, and we're going to see how we can see if we can find a way to get them in the playoffs someday, one of these years. Anyway, I just wanted to mention on SoundCloud the other day I picked a nice little long shot, and it's called Black Chevron down at Yonkers in the ninth race. Picked him in advance. He not a real long shot, but he paid $33. So if you had some nice money on him on SoundCloud, I go there and I pick a lot of the horses, just what I pick and what I feel like doing that day. So if you want to go check out SoundCloud and just hear those picks, not saying I'm a professional or anything like that, but I do make picks. I do throw my own money on it. So whatever I say I pick, I'm betting myself anywhere in between $2 and $100, depending on the budget, the mood, and the type of horse it is. So go check out the SoundCloud. Watch it. Maybe you can get some winners. Maybe I can give some tips. Hey, you can leave comments on there for me too and give me some tips. Hey, I want money. I like it. Anyway, let's go over and talk about the New Jersey Devils now, what they're going to do this year, because it has been frustrating with these owners that we have now. Since they've taken over the team, which is Blitzer and Harris, they basically have been here since 2013, which is around 8 years, or actually 8 years. They've one playoff win, one playoff appearance. The team's record is 255 and 362, 420 winning percentage, which is crap. I don't need to tell you. They went through 6 interim head coaches, and they've never really hit the cap top. So they never really spend it, and the Devils really need to do something here. And now they're at the point where they have a lot of young kids, and they have a lot of good players in the organization. And they're about ready to get 2 more picks this year, and they get a whole mess of picks this year, from what I gather, and all their picks are intact for next year. But the problem is now, I think, is they're too young. You can't. What are you going to do? Just keep drafting players until maybe the young guys get up there and finally starting to play, and you have enough of them. At some point, you're going to have to start going for veterans. And when I say veterans, I mean veterans, kids in between, say, 22 and 26, that when they play for the Devils and if the Devils hit, then they're going to be right in the age range. You don't want to take anyone now, probably 30 and over, maybe one guy to have on the team, maybe a backup goalie, because Devils will probably be looking for a backup goalie this year. They tried last year with Crawford. That didn't work out well. He retired on him, kind of left the Devils. This year they got to be careful they don't make that mistake. The thought system was good by getting Crawford, a nice veteran, to bring him in here, but they just didn't have the right player. So let's see if we can do that. But there are players out there now, and there are teams out there that want that number 4 pick. Now, I know everyone wants to get Luke Hughes in that pick, and I don't have any problem with that. Totally understandable that if Luke Hughes is around, you kind of got to take it. But to me, the Devils are too young, and they need to trade that pick for somebody that will help them out now. And there's a guy named Seth Jones out there, which I think is the perfect player. And the Devils have that number 1 pick. And they have another first-round pick. So if they wanted a player like that, I mean, you can imagine having Seth Jones and Ty Smith on your defensive 4, top 4 easy. And in this case, they both could be number 1s for a long time. Now, that would be a nice way to start getting off. I know they got Hamilton out there. There's a lot of good players out there, and the Devils with these picks should be able to get who they want. Obviously, they might have to give up a couple more. I'm not good with Eichel. He gets hurt too much for me. So I wouldn't look. I guess if they were offering them, and like I said, because they have that high first pick, they actually do have an advantage of a lot of teams. But I think to trade with Columbus would be perfect, because Columbus, I believe, already has a high pick, if I remember right. I know I think they picked just beyond. So just imagine they could have 3 first-round picks if the Devils wanted to do that. Not saying they're going to do that. They have been kind of hinting at what that they might trade that pick if they could get a top. I mean, they put it this way: they've almost pretty much said it. If they can get a top-notch defenseman, they'll trade that first-round pick. Because basically, it's going to be either Luke Hughes or I believe Arvidsson, one of the young kids, is going to be one of them for that pick. So if it's around there, so if you can get a better, more experienced defense like Jones, you take that, and I'm featuring him because I think he's the player that the Devils need to go in there. That's still not to say they don't need wingers or they don't need scorers, and you got to be really careful who you pick as your fourth pick. I mean, look what this kid Cole Caulfield's doing up in Montreal. They had him buried. Even Montreal themselves, they had him buried in college. Not that it's a bad thing sometimes to go down to college, play, get a little defensive experience, mostly because he was smaller. And now he's come up and he looks good. And then all these other GMs let him go all the way down to Montreal. So you just don't know which picks are going to be really good and which picks are not going to be that good. That's why you want to kind of find a more veteran player, somebody that's playing now that can help you right now. To me, Seth Jones is one of those players, and I'll be surprised if the Devils are at least not talking with them. We'll have to see how that goes and how that turns out. Plus, the Devils, are going to need a backup goaltender. I like the idea to have Ball there. So they do have a good young defense that's coming up. But you need some more veterans in there. They just haven't done good on picking veterans. And Fitzgerald, that's up to him. And he hasn't proven to me yet that he can do that. This is going to be the year that, I mean, they picked up Subban, Simmons, and Gusev. They played Gusev $4.5 million, and he never even stepped on NHL ice, at least not that often. So look where he's at. Now he's over at Florida. I don't know how well he's doing down there. Simmons is away. Now, Simmons obviously is a piece, and he would help. But in the case of the Devils, he really wasn't helping that much because the Devils needed other scorers to find scorers with Jack Hughes and Heischer at some point. And Subban is on the team, and he hasn't had great years. But this year, I believe he's on the last year of his contract. Don't have a good year this year, he's in trouble. So I'm looking for him to have a good year this year. If he doesn't even get lost in the expansion draft, who knows? We'll find that out in time. But anyway, I'm going to end this here. And I think the Devils, even if it's not Seth Jones, they have to look for a player that can play defense that actually can help the team out now. If they can do that. If not, I don't have a problem with Luke Hughes. I believe the kid's name was Arvidsson. That's another guy. He's a big defenseman from Sweden. That's going to be a high pick. And there's a couple other guys. And they might not even play right away, any of these players. So they might stay college or juniors or wherever they are. So this is not a deeper draft as some of the other drafts. But if you're in a case of Columbus where you're going to get 2 or 3 picks in it, you're going to find somebody in this draft because there is some talent, don't get me wrong. Anyway, this is Rapid Sports with Jax, with the J to the A to the X at X.com. Go over to the website. Please subscribe. I can use all the subscribers I can get and throw a like, and I'll talk to you guys soon.